Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the Green Lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we gonna hit you with them stone cold facts. And allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have such sights to show you. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And as always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Alexa, and before it was Thundera, where you can find us. But this time around, it's actually Camp Crystal Lake. That's where you can actually find the podcast. Yeah, man. Right under the co-ed that had the giant spear put through her back. When it dripped on Kevin Bacon, there's like a copy of the podcast on an SD card, retroactive. It's fucking sick.
So creative.
Oh no, I'm just so crazy. What's the difference? Oh, definitely excited for this week's show. As always, I'm always ecstatic to do these. It's really the most awesomest thing you can do besides being like Richard Branson or something. Just own Virgin, whatever that guy's name is.
It's Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson.
Sir Richard. Yeah, you got to put some respect on his name. As you can tell, I am welcoming back Beer Business Bureau's own Darren to the show. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. You shouldn't have left us without a dope beat to step to us. No? Sorry. It's been a long week. What? Oh, man. So, enough of the grab ass and let's get right into it. Oh, man. Would you like me to go over my week or do you want to go into your week, man?
No, I want you to go first.
I'll go first, absolutely. This week was whack, man. Just been sick, dude. Just out of effect, but that's okay. I persevered. Remember that part in Ferris Bueller's Day Off where Cameron's in bed and he just, when Michael was in Egypt's land, let my Michael go? That was me all week, man. And still coming to work. You know how we do. But yeah, speaking of Egypt, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Origins, man. I know. Spoiler alert, it's a fun game. It's just so chock full of freaking microtransactions that it's just annoying to navigate through, man. It's like every time you press start, it hits you with a microtransaction.
Yeah, like I was saying, man.
It's garbage.
I didn't pay for shit, but I paid $60 for an ad. I paid for a game.
It's an ad.
Yeah, it's a humongous interactive ad.
And it seems so tacked on. It's like the game itself is solid. The storylines are fun. It's an expansive, like Horizon Zero Dawn with this Egyptian tweak that is just so much a ball to play. But anytime you pause, anytime you look at the map, oh, this Sobek thing is happening. Why don't you buy the Sobek armor? Or you need to go to the store. There's new stuff in the store, and it will ping it like it's a to-do, like it's a to-do option. Like, oh yeah, you have to do this task or this side mission.
That is so obnoxious.
You have to do this store. And I'm just like, it's so annoying. It's the worst part of the game, honestly.
So I'm going to assume then that you can't really play this game offline then.
I haven't tried yet. My PS4 is always connected to the modem, but I'm curious if this game runs offline. I don't think it does, because so much is dependent on that connection, so they can get their money. And there's even kind of like everyday dailies that you can run, like visit this merchant, and you may get a random loot box that may or may not have good armor or weapons or supplies.
And we'll get into that later.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot to talk about with that shit.
Oh man, it's been flooding the industry. All in all, it's a fun game. It's what I've been playing. I've dropped Injustice until the Turtles come out. I'm over it for right now. So I'm not playing that. Not really thinking about playing anything else but Assassins until it's done. And then I'll find a new Vice. And hopefully not a game that's too garbage after that. Because, I tend to have strange taste when it comes to these things. Speaking of leaving a strange taste, man, I watched the first episode of Marvel's Runaways over the weekend on Hulu. And I had to stop at one episode, man. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's teen angsty as shit. It's like, it's very, at least this first episode, mind you, because I read some of the graphic novels. I read some of the trades, and I know the characters. I know what they're about. I know their futures and all that crazy stuff. So watching the show, it's like, okay, Nico is my girl. She's awesome. She's the sorcerer. I think she becomes a sorcerer supreme at some point, like in the future, like the future Avengers. But yeah, they got Gertrude York in there. They got Molly Hayes, who's now Molly Hernandez, because, based on the actress, which is fine. I don't mind that, you know what I'm saying? But the show, pacing is weird. It doesn't have good pacing. And the young actors and actresses are really good. I appreciate them. And the adults are very weird. Freaking Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of the adults. They dragged his ass in there. He's really the only, sore throat. He's a sore throat. Nice. Freudian slip, ladies and gentlemen. He's really the only sore thumb in the show. Other than that, it's all unknowns, really. The young actors, of course, but all the adults, you would think they would shoehorn some bigger names, but no, it's just him. So you can tell the show's made on a shoestring budget, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna try to fight through the next two because I have a rule where I like to give anything I start at least 3 episodes. Anime, Netflix show, whatever. Give it a solid 3. Don't like it, you out. I'm out.
You say my standards are high.
It's just, it used to be 5. The older I get, the less shit I give. Thank you so much. No, the less shit I take, right? A little bit of both, sadly. Life is weird, dude. Speaking of living weird lives, I actually peeped the different lives of the multiverses in CW's Crisis on Earth X that happened over this last couple of days. And it was a crossover between all the CW DC shows.
Oh, I wasn't aware of this, really.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a crossover between Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and the Legends.
Nice.
And
nice.
It put Justice League to shame, dude.
We'll get into that too.
Oh my god. It was so sad watching it. It's like,
Well, let's save that.
We're gonna hold that. Just to say, it was dope. It was dope. Crisis on Earth X was dope. That's it for me, man. I had a pretty slow week. Just been laid up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to recover. How was your week, dude?
Well, for me, Thanksgiving was.
Oh yeah, everyone. Gobble gobble, man. I was so out of effect. I went to my grandma's, made a plate, and just crawled back into my hole, dude.
You look a lot better now.
Thanks, man. It's like I'm still kind of dealing with it, but thanks. I'm trying to feel better.
Yeah, so my week, let's see. I know I did a lot. I just can't think of it right now. Okay, so actually, no. Okay, so I went to go see Thor. I know it's a long time coming.
Hey, man.
Come lately. Sorry.
That's fine.
And I was a bit surprised. I thought, who's the director for Thor?
I can't pronounce his name. Taika Waititi.
I think, yeah.
The guy who did We Live in the Shadows, and he's a Flight of the Conchords guy.
Right. And, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And so I expected the humor.
Right.
Offbeat and all, but
right.
And I wasn't as bothered with it as I thought I'd be.
Mm-hmm.
However, there were some times where it was a little superfluous. Like it just it was just
forced
for the sake of being humorous.
Right.
It was kind of annoying. But I'm actually very surprised. I'm really liking Thor.
Yeah.
I think, like I was telling you earlier, I think this is probably the only Marvel movie that I actually prefer Banner over Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But I think honestly, it's because whenever we've seen a Hulk movie,
right,
it's always or a movie with a Hulk in it.
Right.
We've mostly seen Banner.
Right, because the Hulk is so hard to keep on the screen because he's money, you know.
Well, yeah, that too. But I mean, yeah, because it's all CG. But we never really get to see. So as you all know, obviously, the Hulk is not dependent. Personality wise,
right?
He's not a persona. He's his own entity.
Yeah,
and so,
right.
And so to see him, this is a very fresh look, rare look at the Hulk's personality.
Right. It's the only real look.
Yeah.
Outside of cartoons and comics.
Right. Exactly. So, I was a little annoyed by him, but I'm a big Hulk fan. So
right. Same here. Remember the '90s cartoon Hulk? Yeah. Hulk. Incredible Hulk.
That intro.
Remember the episode with Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
And Ghost Rider punched him across to like a river or some shit. It was so sick. Sorry. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the Thor was great.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
Again, humor was a little forced in areas, but overall it was a good time.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw Justice League.
Yeah.
I don't. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
As you know, big disappointment. Anyway, even more disappointed than that, obviously, because I didn't even have to pay for that shit.
Yeah.
I actually played a lot of Star Wars. I not stumbled through, but I drudged through Star Wars.
Talk about big disappointment, man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. So the game itself, mechanics-wise, is actually, at its core, is actually a fun game to play.
Okay, I haven't touched it. I haven't played it.
It's a fun game to play, and I actually really like the storyline a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I thought it was just going to be tacked on in there, but it's not. It's actually integrated pretty well.
It's well thought out?
It is well thought out.
Cool.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, you play as Iden Versio, who's an Empire. She's I think she's a general, I believe.
Okay, wow.
And you play as the daughter of Admiral Versio, who I'm not. I don't think the Versio name has ever been, hasn't made an appearance in Star Wars just yet. But
yeah.
You're on the Imperial side of Star Wars.
Of the conflict.
Yeah, and then of course, it's a little predictable. Obviously, she becomes disenfranchised with the Empire, switches sides, saves the day, blah, blah, blah. But what's interesting about the storyline is that it actually does tie into the Last Jedi.
Interesting, okay.
Actually, I wouldn't call it a prequel, but it is related in a sense. And they don't necessarily say it, but I do think that this Battlefront 2 storyline is the events of Battlefront 2 are happening concurrently, or at least there's some overlap with episode 7.
Yeah.
So, and my biggest point with all that is that they hint that Rey actually might be related to Iden Versio.
Interesting. So is Iden Force sensitive?
No, she's not. But the
that's
thing is,
interesting.
the at the very end of the game, at the very end of the storyline,
right?
You remember the planet that Rey visited with Luke on the very end of the
Yeah, it's like it was like an aqua planet, right? I'm sure it has some crazy name.
For some reason in the game, that's a hotbed, and you find out that what's his name, Senator Palpatine actually had some deep interest in it. And so,
interesting.
So yeah, at the very end of the game, it takes off. Basically, at the very end of the game, what's his name? Why do I always forget? Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
He makes an appearance in the game, and he visits that island.
Interesting.
So there's something about the island, and there's some sort of connection between Rey and between Iden and Del, who's the other character in the game.
Yeah.
Because they mentioned that they had a child. They put in a lot of emphasis on a child. So.
Wink, wink, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it could be nothing. It could be coincidence, but I do think that there's some relation there.
I think that would be better to have Rey's lineage not really matter.
Yeah.
I would hate for her to be a Kenobi or for her to be a Skywalker, or it'd be funny if she was a Grievous.
Well, the latest interview they did with Daisy Ridley is Daisy Ridley,
right?
So the interview with Daisy Ridley,
right?
As you know, where she actually talks about her time in Star Wars, this new trilogy so far. she actually mentions that she doesn't want to be Rey anymore after J.J. Abrams finishes the series.
Okay,
and
that's a very telling thing to say.
Well, she says that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she's not going to be. You know what I mean?
Right. I see what she means. Yeah. Like she will ascend past that name and probably to her true name.
Well, here's the kicker though. Here's the interesting part of all the one line that she does says she mentions that one of the reasons why she doesn't want to be actually she says the reason why she doesn't want to play Rey anymore is because that would conclude the Skywalker name. So what that tells me, in a sense, kind of
curious,
sort of saying
man.
To me is that she might be a Skywalker, in some sense of the word, because she put emphasis on that.
That's funny. Like, was she supposed to say that?
I have no idea.
Wow.
I have no idea, but it's on the internet. She did she look up Rey doesn't want, or Daisy really doesn't want to be Rey anymore. I think it's an interview with Variety. I think.
Is there an age gap between Kylo Ren and Rey?
I'm sure there is.
It's got to be, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
look at Adam Driver. He's like 40 years old.
I know, but he just looks that way. Because I wonder if this is a weird play on the Jedi twins.
Oh, no, I don't think so, because for one, like Kylo Ren. First of all, we don't know really what the Knights of Ren are.
I thought they were one thing, but they're not.
Yeah, we have no idea what they are.
It may be a throw. Are they going to be represented? Like, it's kind of, well.
I mean, who knows? At this point, they have to be, because they put a lot of emphasis on that too.
Right.
Episode 7, but and with Snoke and shit, but so yeah. My point with all that was that the storyline is really, really good in Battlefront 2.
Nice, yeah.
But the multiplayer, good Lord Almighty, I truly believe that Electronic Arts saw an opportunity to screw over people, and they screwed themselves over, which they really did, because as you know, you read up on that news that their shareholders withdrew a lot of their funds, which equates to about $3 billion, man.
That's billion with a B, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, $3 billion.
Holy shnikes, dude.
So at this point, there's I don't think they can change anything.
They can't, because it's baked into the heart. It's baked into the heart. To the software, right?
Yeah. I mean, changing to change their investors' minds.
Oh no, that's it.
Even if they did make some sort of soft
edit, to clean that up, the die is kind of cast by then. Yeah. I mean, they're talking about like government mandates and like hearings are having in like the UK and Hawaii. Like, this may have screwed the pooch on loot boxes for everyone.
Yep.
And I listen to a lot of podcasts too.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been talking about this. And a lot of people are saying, is it about time to just raise prices on games? If that's what it's going to take for these companies to stop trying to milk every red cent out of their fan base.
I mean, so here's the thing. And I agree somewhat with that.
Yeah. I
agree with that because it makes sense logically, but I disagree with it, because if it weren't for actually what the general consensus on why they actually were introducing microtransactions so heavily, it's because EA says that all the DLC is free, which is not nearly enough. Which is not that's very flimsy.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, I would rather just pay for the DLC or pay for the game to come with the DLC. I don't like, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of not knowing what really happens behind the curtain with these decisions. You had a game, I keep mentioning it, but it's such a good example, is Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
And Infinite came out the box with 3 downloadable characters on day 1. Now, a logical person would say, why not just put them in the game? You didn't have to create these characters. There wasn't a side initiative to create these characters. They were produced as the game was produced.
Right.
So where is the incentive to double charge people technically on costumes and characters, things that you would unlock back in the day.
I mean, if their business model,
it's crazy to me.
If their business model is solely dependent on transactions and DLC,
right?
You need to just make a better game.
And that's my thing. It's like, would I prefer spending an extra $15 on a game if I'm going to get a complete experience out the box? Yes, I would do that. But it's irritating that, and the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, it's one thing to create new content after the launch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you kind of have to kind of see where the market interest is, and then gauge what your fans want. Mm-hmm. These characters are already baked. They're already done. They're just sitting. They were sitting waiting to be hacked and slashed technically on top of the already $60 price tag, and that's just a little bit disingenuous to me. It's just give me a better game and I'll pay money for it.
I agree.
You know what I agree.
And again, I mean, and this is the last one to say about Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
But the fact that everything is based on credits, like now everything you do in the game is based on credits, and the fact that you don't get merit for actually playing the game.
No,
it's based on time.
Time spent. That's the
time
worst.
Spent
it's like a mobile game.
Yeah. So basically, if you play a match that's only like 15 minutes, which it has happened, it just happened to me today.
Right.
Like you will get you will get that many credits. So you probably get like 100 or some credits.
Right.
Meanwhile, you can get like 20,000 fucking points, and that means nothing. So this is what I'm going back to with the original Battlefront, the remake.
Right.
That was a whole lot better, even though it was flawed, because your experience points actually translated into credits, and plus, like the merits for getting star cards were completely different.
Yeah.
You use those credits to buy star cards.
Right.
However, how much experience you get is based on how well you play.
Right.
That's how it should be.
That's how Overwatch is. Like,
right.
you know, yes, you can just totally tank, or not tank because that's a class, but you can totally botch an entire run, but you'll get some semblance of achievement. You'll get some level of level up points.
Yeah.
But if you're the play of the game and you've done amazing, then you're going to get more points toward that.
Yep.
Not just time spent, but ability shown.
Right.
And like you said, that's how it should be. If that's going to be your mark of growth and experience gained.
Yeah.
It's so predatory.
Yep.
Ugh.
Oh, so yeah. To finish off my week, I got my movie pass. That's why I saw the
movie pass.
Yeah, I know.
We will do advertising. We'll do it. We both have them. We both use them.
Yeah.
It's worth the money. How was your experience with it?
It was wonderful. And I found out actually that the AMC down in Long Beach Town Center, on Sundays their movies are cheaper. So you can actually use your movie pass to buy 2 tickets if you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a $15 limit.
Yeah.
I found that out. It's like $15.50 or something like that.
I thought it was $14.95.
I know someone else who used it, and she was saying that she bought the deluxe seating that was like $15.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. You may be right because I haven't done that yet.
Right.
I just bought standard tickets when I got mine, but that's what's up.
Yeah,
you have like an allowance.
You can't beat this, folks. Like you seriously cannot beat this. This is the best deal ever, and I really shouldn't be talking about it because I want to keep the knowledge very limited.
Because the more people find out, the more money they're going to put on us, man.
Yeah, but
milk it for as long as we can. Like I'm going to see the Last Jedi with it a few times.
I'm going to see it more than a few fucking times.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
why the hell not?
You're paying like $9 a month.
You know what my mom said? She said that, and she got the movie pass too. She got hers in quick because they have this deal going on where you pay $89 something the entire year.
Truth be told, Nana don't hear this, but I'm thinking like me and my cousin are going to go half on that for my grandmother's birthday,
really?
Christmas.
Dude, what are you doing? What are you telling
Don't listen, Nana. You didn't hear that part. All right.
Yeah, And my mom said that because she drives Uber as well. She said, "You know what? This is awesome too, because she's a movie buff too.
Yeah,
but she's like, man, when I don't want to deal with these people anymore, I'll just go into a movie, sit, and then go to sleep.
Yeah,
like during the day
and knock out. I mean, you can Uber someone to the theater, go see a movie, and then Uber somebody back.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so convenient, and and if you're so inclined, you can use it every day.
Yeah,
like people have jobs and life and shit.
Yeah,
but if I wanted to, I could see a different movie every day, all month long, as long as it's one time a day or is up to the amount, and you're good to go. And it's I can't. Like I said, I don't want to blow it up.
Yeah.
Because once it's blown up, it's over.
Right.
They're going to start charging like $20 a month or something crazy, and they're going to lower the amount of views a month, and it's going to get silly once it actually takes off. Yeah. So if you get in early, maybe you can have that Amazon effect where if you'll be grandfathered in at your original rate, like locking your rent.
So we should probably get into the other shenanigans of the podcast.
Absolutely, because shenanigans are to be had. And this is where we get into our newses. The newses. Oh, man. Crazy. What?
Oh, nothing. Continue.
You're making strange faces. Man. It's been a crazy week for news, man. A lot of funny shit, a lot of cool shit. I'm gonna keep saying the word shit until shit happens. Oh man, where do we start, man? I guess we start with the news of the day, which was the Avengers: Infinity War trailer.
Yep,
dropped. Did you check that shit out?
I mean, I was kind of forced to at this point because Facebook, but it was Thrillist, but
yeah,
I mean, so there were some new things with it.
Yeah,
there were some new things and some things they took out.
And you're talking about the D23 reveal,
yeah,
right?
I actually prefer that one. It's because it's a little more dramatic. They show a little bit more, particularly with I think there was more.
Thanos.
Yeah,
right?
there was more Thanos in the other one.
But,
but this one again, nonetheless, regardless of all that, I'm actually excited for it.
I mean, like, man, 10 years in the making.
It's crazy. It's been that long.
It's
crazy.
It's this crazy experiment that they've been doing that's made them billions of dollars.
Yep.
And it's cultivated its own genre. They created a genre that existed, but it was very fleeting. No one took comic book movies seriously.
Right.
And now it's the biggest box office thing you can possibly do.
And also just the amount of planning. Like, I don't think I've ever really seen a franchise like
this well thought out.
Yeah, this well thought out, this well methodically planned out. So incredibly, well done, with the exception of a couple movies. But
overall, the groundwork, the foundation of this thing is so rock solid that if you put Tom Green on the screen for 2 hours, it's still going to make $1 billion. And it just makes. And I was talking to you earlier about this. It's like, how long have they been sitting on this script?
Yep.
How long have they been playing with and tweaking and perfecting this 2-part situation? Because it is a 2-part situation. It's Infinity War and whatever Avengers 4 is going to be.
Right. And
we'll get into that with the kind of like sister news to this news.
Yeah.
But for the trailer, I thought it showed enough. I thought it showed too much in certain things. And I hate to be the guy. It's weird. Like, I don't want to spoil a trailer. That's a weird thing to say. Because it's check it out if you care enough. And if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you've already seen it.
Yeah.
There's certain things I didn't want to see in that trailer, which is like the vision stuff. That seemed a bit plot heavy.
Yeah. That part right there, that wasn't an original one. So I'm kind of wondering why they decided, because there's lots of stuff that's leaked about this movie anyway.
Yeah.
So why would they put that in there?
Image?
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
But I get it wants to like raise the stakes and give the real severity of the situation, because they don't really show. Thanos kind of clocks a couple people, but they don't show the severity of Thanos, like how much of a problem he is, comic wise.
Well, I mean, shit, man. If you got Bucky coming at you with machine guns, you know it's gotta be serious, man. I mean, come on.
When Bucky straps up, you know shit got real.
When Bucky comes with the straps, you better stay strapped.
You stay strapped, or you're gonna get gacked. You get down or you lay down. That Wakanda life. Jeez, what is Bucky gonna do against the God King Thanos?
Not that it matters, but he's got a bunch of his own goons with him.
Yeah, he has his own squadron, dude. And that's the thing. Thanos already has like Hulk-level squadron members with him in the Black Order, which is new to comics, but it's a hell of a ragtag team.
Yeah.
And I think, I forget what's his name, Hickman created those characters. And they're brilliantly written. Yeah. And I'm happy they made it as his little goon squad, his four heavenly kings, as it were, for my Street Fighter fans.
Yeah.
And it's just, you got to see Spidey's new suit in action.
I think that's the other thing. Well, that was also in the original
trailer. In the D23 stuff.
Yeah.
I could have held off on that.
I thought that was actually a little more revealing too.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw it in the Homecoming. We saw the spider.
You saw but you know it exists.
Yeah.
And my only gripe is that if you've seen Homecoming, you know that he can barely handle the technology in his basic suit.
Right.
So how is he supposed to know how to operate this super high-tech evolved version of his suit? But then it goes to show, you brought up a good point earlier, which was how much time has passed since A to B. So Peter Parker may have had a year to be Spider-Man and master that suit.
Yeah.
And now he gets to get the upgrade for the world-ending event.
Yeah.
We got to see Cap. He looks pretty dope. The Nomad, comic accurate, not completely comic accurate because he doesn't have a cape, but whatever's clever. And you got that cool little Guardian stinger at the end, which I thought was kind of cute.
Yeah. So actually, the funny thing is, I actually do know how Infinity War starts off. I know the very first scene, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, don't tell me, dude. I would strangle you.
Yeah. So basically,
I go right into it. Blood will be shed on this podcast. Blood on the dance floor. Oh man, can you be more hyped for something? Like fuck, dude. Like
I mean,
it's been 10 years it's been a decade in the making, and this kind of tailspins into the second part of the news, which is a quote from the Marvel Master Lord himself, Kevin Feige, where he goes into what exactly is happening with Avengers 4. And he makes a quote saying that, well, for Infinity War, this will be something that superhero fans haven't really seen before, and that's a finale. He said this will be the end of this arc.
Interesting.
This will be the end of the MCU as we know it. And as a comic book fan, that makes me think Infinity Gauntlet. It makes me think retcon. It makes me think reboot. My brain just goes to reboot no matter what they say.
Yeah.
And certain actors are coming back, and it makes me think Golden Age. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a thing in comics where there's the Golden Age, the Silver Age, and the Modern Age. This makes me think like this is going to be the end of the Golden Age of heroes. And it also ties into the little funny dealings they're having with Fox and the little funny dealings they're doing with Universal. And it makes me think that this 10-year experiment that I called was truly an experiment on how to formulate and master a decade's worth of content. Now that they know how to do it and perfected it, I believe the true Marvel Universe, with all of their big players, are going to come back in Avengers 4, or at least lay the groundwork with their heavy hitters, with your X-Men, with your Fantastic Four. And it's tenfold hat, but it feels like that's what they want to do. They're so quiet about it.
So I would love for that to happen.
I don't think.
So wait. So I'm sorry. So Avengers 4 is supposed to come out the very next year.
Something like that. It's the next year.
That's not enough time to get all that.
Unless Infinity War punches you in the gut. It doesn't necessarily have to have the X-Men on screen. Yeah. It could just lay that groundwork.
Right.
Can you imagine if Avengers 4 was a period piece and it started in like the 60s, or these characters already exist? That would be weird.
The golden age of X-Men.
Because I have a feeling they're going to reboot the universe and new actors are going to come in to play these new characters.
Yeah, well,
younger versions.
Because they've already scouted out like other new X-Men to play. Like I think Tom Hardy was pegged.
And
or not pegged, was suspected.
James Franco has been talking a lot about Multiple Man. He's saying he's getting a Multiple Man gig, which is dumb, which is super dumb. But if it has weird Marvel ties, fuck it, I guess. Throw him in there.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
I don't know about that.
But Marvel is keeping things really close to their chest. Yeah. But it's obvious, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's like you hope this is what's going down.
Yeah.
But what else could it be?
You think it's hiding in plain sight?
I think it's hiding in plain sight. I think Marvel wants us to see the forest through the trees. Mm-hmm. And I think when it drops, it's like the Spider-Man news. Mm-hmm. How it's so quietly kept, but everyone knew. Like, man, they're going to get Spider-Man back. We're getting Spidey back. And months and months and months and months passed until we got the official Spidey's Homecoming is in the MCU. And I think it's not going to be this year. It's not going to be next year. It's not going to be 3 years from now, because all the money that Fox has put in the X-Men has to run its course. Mm-hmm. Dark Phoenix has to come out. New Mutants have to come out, right?
Yeah.
But if this does go through, I think in the next 5 years, we're going to see a Marvel's X-Men film, a Marvel's Fantastic Four, a Secret Wars, a true Marvel universe where all these things come up around the same time.
So I think by that point, Holland, the guy who plays Spider-Man,
he will be adult enough to introduce a Miles Morales. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll be great.
And you could still set your X-Men in the past.
Yep.
If you want to do period pieces, because you could still have your X-Men in the 60s if you're rebooting everything from Captain America thawing out to I Am Iron Man.
Right, yeah.
That's 50, 60 years of continuity you could build. You can have the children of the Atom come from, the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And dovetail right into the birth of the Avengers, the thawing out of Cap. And the voyage of the Fantastic Four can all happen at the same time. And you have aged actors who can play these characters well. I'm getting hyped thinking about it. It's freaking dope if you really, because they could just do that. And there's a lot of hints of time travel in Infinity War. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of set pieces where they're back in World War II and they're back at the incident of New York. And it's like, are they going to go back and plant weird seeds? Like, oh no, this kid has mutant abilities. Oh no, they're a failed astronaut. Because they don't even have to say anything.
Right.
It could just be paper clippings.
Just pick up on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like little tidbits. But enough of that. I can talk about that all night. It's freaking the prospect, the idea of this happening could be marvelous.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Speaking of marvelous, the next bit of news, and we'll just kind of keep going into Marvel stuff for a second, is they've tacked on my boy Jude Law to play Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I saw that.
In the Captain Marvel coming up film.
I think it's an okay choice. I mean, I don't dislike Jude Law.
He's fine.
I mean, I'm kind of indifferent about it. Like, I
have to see it. I don't think he's going to be in costume.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be more like a Michael Douglas in Ant-Man, kind of like I was Captain Marvel, but because in the comics he dies of cancer or something like that.
Right.
And so they could probably be picking up on him in the final stages of that as a sickly old, protector, and that's when Miss Marvel takes on the mantle of Captain Marvel.
Right.
So I wonder if they're going to do that. I wonder if they're going to put her through the ringer and make her Miss Marvel before she becomes Captain Marvel. That'd be kind of interesting.
That would be actually really great.
I hope they do it. Like it could even be
who will play Miss Marvel though?
Kamala Khan.
Who?
You mean Carol Danvers?
Yeah. Who will play?
Brie Larson's playing Carol Danvers.
Brie Larson.
From Room, the Oscar-winning Brie Larson. That's our Captain Marvel. That's what they've announced.
Okay, all right. I dig it.
The movie takes place in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's two-eyed Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Skrulls are supposedly the main villain.
Oh man.
So there's a whole secret invasion kind of underplot that's been dancing on everyone's tongue. We'll see.
Yeah.
I like Jude Law a lot.
Yeah.
I liked him since X Extends. That's one of my favorite movies.
All right. Yeah.
That's my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to see him throw a nega blast here and there, or maybe don the outfit maybe once, and have a ceremonious death, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Pass the torch. I'm a big fan of lineage in movies and comics and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I really love about comics is the passing of the torch. And let's jump around a little bit. And speaking of torches being ignited or put out, Demon Souls' online services end in February.
Yeah.
It's just huge.
Yeah.
For fans out there for the Souls series.
I saw that. I didn't read too much into what was so. There, it's ending this February.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be a straight up just shutdown?
Shutdown, servers. The Demon Souls service. And for those who don't know what Demon Souls is, it's a From Software game that has grown its own genre, kind of. The Souls games as they are, because there's Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. It's from kind of the same mind. Why did I want to say Shinji Mikami? Jeez, that's the wrong guy. But it's how do you describe a Souls game? Is it just get good? Is that the
lots of grinding? Sorry,
cough cast.
Yeah.
It's a lot of grinding. It's not an adventure game.
No, not.
It's a hack and slash, but it's extremely difficult. It's known for its difficulty. And it's one of the first games that implement like a crowd environment where how it works is that people can leave notes in all across the world to give you hints. Some are lies, some are truth.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first games where they use online to allow other players to affect your game.
Yeah.
People can invade your game and try to kill you. It's very interesting. And that's what the element that's being taken out is the player invasions and the notes leaving. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be the raw game. And it's and the game's been around for a long time now.
Yeah, that was my other thing. I mean, it's been around for how many years?
Almost 5 years.
Yeah, like
5-6 years.
Yeah.
So it's about time, and that's longer than a lot of these games get in regards to their servers and keeping things up. But with the rabid fan base that they have, you're going to be able to find a way to log back in. Yeah. I think there's going to be some shadow servers out there that are going to be holding people down.
I mean, just like there are some people that actually but made their own the original Battlefront 2 servers.
Right. If there's still people running TF2, games, then this thing's going to live on. It's just From Software is going to stop supporting it. Yeah. The chances are they need to reallocate their resources to something else. Hopefully, Armored Core sequel. I want an Armored Core game.
I haven't played an Armored Core game since I think PlayStation.
Yeah, Armored Core V was the last Armored Core I played. Yeah. Armored Core is so freaking dope. If you don't know about Armored Core, get on it. Get on that shite. I'm so mad. I'm cussing in Irish. Man. Speaking about things that make you mad, the Warner Brothers has finally released the Superman included posters for the Justice League.
For what?
For fucking what? Sorry. For fucking what? It's too late. And the posters are great. Oh, it's so FUBAR. This whole thing is so FUBAR to me.
I heard that it was because one of the reasons was because what's his name? Henry Cavill couldn't shave his mustache.
Well, that's a whole different thing. That's the reshoots.
I see.
The reshoots were because half the movie wasn't made because of the tragedy for Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Josh Whedon came in and pretty much rewrote the movie.
Yeah.
And recut the movie, re-edited the entire thing to his vision, but with some snippets of Snyder still floating around. So the whole mustache thing was that this is already post-production. So Henry Cavill was already working on his next movie, which happened to be Mission Impossible 6 or something like that, where he has a big, giant, Magnum P.I. mustache.
Oh, God.
And so Warner Brothers asked, hey, can Henry shave his mustache just so we can get some quick shots in? He'll grow it back. And they were like assholes. They're like, no, screw your movie, your bullshit, comic book bullshit. He's contractually obligated to keep his facial hair. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Deal with it. So they shot all of his shots with his big giant mustache and had to digitally take it out, which made it look worse. You might as well just give him a beard and make him look like sick bearded Superman the whole time, which would have been cool, right? You could have wrote that in. But no, what this story is about is that for all of the marketing, Superman's been left out.
Right.
The commercials, the toys, the mobile games, the posters, all the advertising didn't have Superman out because it's supposed to be this big ass reveal that everybody knew was going to happen. And this was a freaking Zack Snyder idea. Yeah. But once Zack Snyder alienated himself from the project, Josh was like, do we keep this up or do we use the biggest name outside of Batman on this team to market this movie so it does better? Yeah. And so now the movie's already out and the Metacritic score and the Rotten Tomato score are lower than my 5th grade, math marks. Yeah. It's too late. It's so frustrating. This entire movie was frustrating because it failed. Because everyone, it fails on so many levels, but I liked it. I liked it a lot now that in recollection. But it fails on so many levels, on marketing, on production, on editing, on acting, on color correction. It fails on silly shit. Yeah. Yeah. But it has so much heart. So I like it. I don't know. I can't tell you. Ugh. I'm so speechless about this damn movie.
So Justice League was terrible. And
I can't argue that.
I can't
argue that.
I can't. But like I said, I actually originally got the ticket for the movie pass. And
have you paid?
I just didn't go.
Oh, right.
The first time,
you just held that shit. Yeah. You just stared at it. It's a better movie. And the thing was,
and coming from admittedly, I'm not that big of a DC.
I'm an adopted DC guy. I got into DC in college during the Green Lantern Rebirth series.
And it's not by choice or anything. I just didn't. But that being said, I do know somewhat about it and about the mother boxes and about Dark Side, which should have been a lot of the
very prominent,
but
at least mentioned more than passing.
Yeah,
fucking bullshit.
Only once.
In passing,
and you would have never known it if you weren't listening.
Blink and you miss it.
Yeah,
check your phone and you missed it.
Yeah, that
shit.
The fact that the mother boxes also look like the Allsparks from
it's this thing. It's everything has the Michael Bay virus, where all technical things have to look like bio H.R. Giger bullshit. It would have been better if it just looked like a mother box from the damn comic book. That like you said, it looks like the freaking Allspark and shit. It doesn't need to look like that. No, it doesn't all have to be bio armor, guys. It's not the fucking Guyver unit. It's a damn mother box. That
and also the fact that Batman is he's the worst salesman I've ever seen in my life.
What's the sale? Join the Justice League. Get hype.
Pretty much from what I remember, Cyborg was just like, screw you.
He was already over it.
Superman. Okay, his idea to revive Superman, first of all,
was so haphazard.
Was very half-assed, very half-baked.
And everyone knew
sense.
It. Yeah,
and even the way they did it made no sense.
It was such a MacGuffin. It was such a throwaway moment. But I liked the moment after, where he fights the Justice League. I thought that was a cool moment. But how they come up with the idea to bring him back is so half-assed. Yeah. It's so Back to the Future bullshit. Yeah. And it's like, there's 101 ways you could have done that. You could have just had him come back to life. Yeah. Like it was shown in Yawn of Justice. Just have him get up and walk around stumbling. You don't have to do... I'm sorry. It's not as bad as Yawn of Justice. I was legit upset for days off that movie. Yeah. This movie at least left me feeling hope for them to get their shit together. That's all this was. It was a course correction. It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't horrible. I'm not going to say it's horrible, but it was a course correction. And it set everyone up where they need to be. Superman's back in Metropolis. I don't know how they explain how Clark Kent's been dead for God knows how long.
I know, right?
He's just back working at the Daily Planet. I got better on some Mighty Python shit.
Yeah, I guess if they wanted to, they can go back to how Doomsday. They thought that Doomsday killed him, and really he was just sleeping.
Yeah, but I mean Clark Kent.
Right,
you can explain away
yeah,
Superman.
Yeah.
He's Superman. I got better.
Right, exactly.
But how does Clark Kent get his W-2 back? How is he working again? Because there was an obituary for him.
That's the other thing about Superman.
It's fucking dumb.
I don't understand.
They don't take time to explain
Why
that.
the hell would someone like him even need a W-2? But whatever. I'm not
because he's a human dude.
I don't care.
He's a dude,
he's not
man.
Human.
He lives a life. At the end of the day,
and then that whole comment about what Batman said, or sorry, Bruce Wayne said about Clark being more human than he was.
That bother you a little bit?
It did.
It twinged you?
It wasn't even necessary.
No, it wasn't, and it wasn't a good line.
No, it wasn't. It was a terrible line.
If someone thought it was a good line, Batman would say that. No, he fucking wouldn't.
He would not.
Batman doesn't care that much. One of my favorite Batman moments in Justice League history is in the Unlimited series, and they're in the Watchtower, and some shit's jumping off. And they're like, let's call Batman. I did. Well, what happened? He said he was busy. And that's all you hear about Batman the entire episode. That's his attitude towards the Justice League. He thinks it's Mickey Mouse bullshit that he only does every once in a while. He's not pulling the team together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not his modus operandi. He does it because he owes some kind of respect to Superman and Wonder Woman. Oh, Bruce Wayne was just handled weird. I almost called him Wally West. Yeah. Barry Allen was handled weird.
Yeah.
Cyborg wasn't handled. Aquaman was handled weird. Wonder Woman was the only saving grace.
I wasn't really too fond of the brooding from Cyborg.
I mean, he got super fucked up. It's like you wake up and you're the Fly.
I get that, but it seemed a little. I don't know. The brooding seemed a little too much, even when he was on the team at that point. He
seemed a little downtrodden.
Yeah.
When everybody else was trying
annoying.
to be upbeat. There's two cyborgs in my brain. Mm-hmm. There's the Teen Titans original cyborg, where he's not mopey, but he's not emo. Yeah. But he's still booyah. He's still kind of like having a good time.
And then the very last part of that movie where he says it's
so forced.
It's the most
natural. It didn't feel natural at all. He was just like booyah. Fucking DJ Quick and shit. Booyah.
Oh Lord.
And everybody's just like, I clapped because I like the reference.
You're probably the only one clapping.
I was. Either they didn't get it, or people were like, oh, this is bullshit. One thing, okay, I did want to go into the CW Crisis of X really quick, because there's a scene where Supergirl is about to fight Uber Girl, which is like the alternate X's evil version. And she says a line that says, General, would you like to step outside? And it's a line straight from Superman 2. Yeah. And they fight. And I was like, why couldn't there be moments like that in this multi-million dollar flop, dude? It's so bad. But I like the heart of it. I like what they were trying to do with Superman. I like what they were trying to do with painting this new DCEU that is honestly totally different from what it has been. Mm-hmm. The Suicide Squad doesn't exist in this universe, right? It's like it's two tonally different atmospheres. Mm-hmm. And how are you going to incorporate that? Even when the villains are brighter, there's a stinger, spoilers, of Deathstroke, the Terminator, Slade. His suit is bright as fuck. Yeah. it's almost in your face day glow. Yeah. You know? It's freaking nuts, dude.
I heard, what's his name? Magnello, I think.
Joe Magnello or something like that.
Magnello, yeah. He's going to play Deathstroke.
Yeah, that's him. He's Slade, dude. Yep. We'll see. I like Manu from the CW stuff, but that's kind of hard because CW's been around for years now. Yeah. And I'm willing to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. If this is the route they're going to take and just rehire these dudes, then why not, right?
I'm old-fashioned. I still call it WB.
That's fine. The WB with the freaking singing frog. Oh, man. Talk about old-fashioned. Here's one especially for you. Did you check out any of those Devil May Cry 5 leaks?
I did. I'm not going to put...
I hate to do like leakware on my podcast, but it's something to talk about.
It's something to talk about because we've been grasping at straws, grasping at shit for like years now.
For years now.
I think I personally take it with a grain of salt. I love what they're doing. I mean, to think that they would really go right after DMC5,
they're going after 4,
which is awesome. Now the whole thing about them being 3 playable characters
seems a bit extra.
It seems a little incredible to me.
It seems like too much.
Yeah, it seems like it would be way too much. And then on top of that, now if they did it, then it would probably be like either Virgil or Nero being an extra playable character.
But Dante being the focus.
Yeah.
You know, and you take these things with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But apparently, this has been the 800-pound gorilla at Capcom for like 5 years now. And it's the most known leak ever. And it's just now finally been like, yeah, we've known this shit for a while. Yeah. We've been working on Devil May Cry 5. We just, we can't really talk about it, of course. Right. Yeah. But what they're talking about in this leak almost feels like a Bayonetta almost.
That's what they were saying.
It's almost Bayonetta-ish.
The worlds are going to be Bayonetta-ish, but not, of course, won't have any quick time events because there's no such thing.
Yeah, right. There's not going to be witch time.
And I think
jeez.
And if that does make it onto the game, I would be severely disappointed
because it takes a lot of the difficulty away.
Yeah. But the boss battles are going to be more epic. The camera is going to be fixed.
They're fixing the camera for the first time ever.
Fixed.
No, fuck it, man. It's going to be fucking fixed. We've been waiting for this game since DMC, and we're all depressed because DMC wasn't as what we thought it was going to be. And a new costume designs. Yeah.
Oh, and Ruben Langdon from Devil May Cry 3 is coming back.
He's coming back, dude.
He's coming back. Johnny
I can only imagine what this game is going to be like on a PS4 Pro or a high-powered PC.
Yeah. Well, they always release that shit later.
Yeah, but it's going to be dope, though. Yeah. You might as well wait for the PC version if you got a beast that you can play it on because it's going to run beautifully. Yeah. Like the Vanquish port, I heard, runs really well.
Really?
Yeah, so...
Plus, they fix the physics in the game.
The physics are going to be fixed.
He's not going to be clipping through shit anymore.
No, I think it's going to be their most well-polished game in a very long time. I have very high hopes for it, but it is Capcom.
Yep.
So they're going to screw the pooch on some level.
Yep.
But I think the core game, it's funny. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Origins, right? Mm-hmm. The core game is good. It's muddled in microtransactions. You're playing Star Wars Battlefront. The core game is good, but it's muddled in microtransactions. Yep. Marvel Infinite apparently has the core game is good, but is marred in microtransactions. Yep. What is the common thread here?
Greed.
Yeah. And it's not even about game cost. It's about how more can you line your pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm praying that a single player experience like Devil May Cry 5 doesn't. Shit, we don't know if it's single player. It could be multiplayer.
Well, they were saying,
fucking weird, right?
In the leaks, they were saying that there's going to be some online component to it, but there's not going to be an actual multiplayer.
I could see like co-op, 2-player, 3-player co-op.
I mean,
because the camera's going to be weird because you can pan that camera out,
right,
and all y'all can be doing whatever you want.
I mean, but then they would have to make this game. Okay, if there's 3-player co-op, that'll be the shortest game ever.
Think about like games like Resident Evil Revelations, where it's 2-player co-op and it's a linear story.
Yeah,
but everyone has their roles to play. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do get that. Like, however, I think with Devil May Cry, I don't want that.
Would you want Devil May Cry to be a weird kind of like Dante is the tank? Nero is DPS and Virgil's healer.
I can't.
And you run around.
I can't deal with that.
That's a little extra for it'll stop being Devil May Cry at that point, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I feel you on that.
Which is funny too because, as you guys probably already know, Devil May Cry, the original one, was actually one of the guys, I forget his name, was working on a Resident Evil game.
Shinji Mikami. I mentioned his name earlier.
Shinji Mikami. He was working on a Resident Evil game, and it ended up being Devil May Cry instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was birthed out of.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cool, back in the day, Capcom stories like that, where Evil Within was born that way. Yeah. Evil Within was supposed to be Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. And they kind of took that idea and said, screw you guys, we'll do our own thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of screwing people... The last bit of news: Marvel Heroes shuts down earlier than expected and lays the staff off over the holidays.
That's the shittiest.
That's the shittiest thing, man.
I mean, the game is not that great, but that's not the point.
That's not cool, man.
That's not cool, man.
He shut down the servers before the announced date. Because people usually like to do a bon voyage, like farewell MMORPG thing. Everyone does it, right? They did it for Final Fantasy XIV before it became Realm Reborn. Mm-hmm. They do that. And to pull it early, to threaten to pull it early, and they just adapted it for PS4. They just adapted it. And to fire the staff over Thanksgiving, that's
really, really, really shitty.
It's really shitty, man.
Christmas. Yeah.
And it's just before Christmas. And I listened to a podcast where one of the guys used to work on the game. Mm-hmm. And I haven't heard from him in a while. So he's probably looking for a new job. It's like, I can't podcast. You got to find a new job, man.
Right.
I did want to mention it because I hype up Marvel a lot. And I hype up Disney a lot. But there's dark sides to all this shit, dude. Yep. You know what I'm saying? There's dark sides to all this stuff. And there's bright sides to all this stuff, too. So, as much as I hype about Marvel, this is uncalled for. Mm-hmm. It seems a bit extra. And, if I was a fan of a game and got it pulled from under my feet and I just dumped a bunch of money into it, I would be upset.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if they just stopped? And Marvel Heroes had a good run. It was. I think it's been up for maybe 3 years, 4 years. Had a bunch of expansions. Yeah. People must have poured hundreds of thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of dollars into that game.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can play it anymore. All these games are online based. You can't just plug in tech. You can't plug it in like you'll plug in Super Mario World.
Right.
The game is reliant on a server, on an online component, and that kind of makes you think should we reverse this out? Is online really something that should be part of games going forward?
Oh, well, it has to.
It kind of has to be.
There's no choice. You kind of have to do that. But I mean, but making a game completely, contingent upon it. No.
I mean, because you take away the service off Overwatch. What is it?
It's
you take away the servers of League of Legends.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's concept art and vertical slices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it puts a time clock on your investment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Nothing lasts forever, whatever. But I could still fish out Turtles in Time on a Super Nintendo and play that to completion and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can't do that with now Marvel Heroes,
right,
or Demon's Souls, as it were, for earlier. So I just think that's something to think about. Is online taking over our gaming a little too much? Oh, man. So, good news, bad news, news in general. Any business is good business unless it's bad business. That's the truth, Ruth. Now we're going into our questions. This is the question section of the podcast, where if you'd like to ask a question, you can send those to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. I repeat, for those in the back, mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. I kind of feel like I've asked these questions before, but screw it. We're fine. We'll live, but we'll see. First question. Have you ever felt tired of gaming? And if so, how did you recover? This weekend.
With Battlefront. Oh, you mean just in general?
I mean the true burnout, where you're like, I don't want to play games at all. And you stopped for a while. And
I never really had that problem because I've always been so busy.
Yeah.
And so I've always just had a yearning for wanting to play something.
Right.
Now, there are times where I just kind of should I play? Or I mean, I've been too lazy to play.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever been truly burned out though.
Yeah, I can relate based on genre.
Yeah.
More than anything, because like you said, it's escapist, and I'm always busy. I'm at work, house stuff, whatever. But playing something is usually on the docket. But am I tired? I got tired of sports games. I can't play those anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get tired of fighting games, where I'm just like, I just don't want to touch a fighting game until something really comes out.
That's unbelievable, but yeah.
I mean, that's my genre.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just I can't reward bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even now, I'm burnt out on Injustice. I'm not going to play.
Finally, thank God.
Until the Turtles come out, which is sometime next year.
Oh,
I'm not going to play Infinite on principle. And there's no really other fighting games I want to play on the PS4 right now that thrill me. So I'm all fighting games right now. But truth be told, when something drops that's awesome, that's done right and done right by the fans, I'll pick it back up. And that could be anything. If Madden 2018 came out and looked amazing and they had like a new system, I'll give it a shot. You know, if Gran Turismo came out, I don't play racing games all that much. But for me, the best, easiest way to pull me back into a genre is to thrill me, is to show me something I haven't seen before and reinvigorate my passion to play. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get out of any kind of slump.
Yep.
May it be art or production or audio. You need something to thrill you, to pull you out of the malaise of being stagnant.
Right.
You know, so, you know, that's how you do it. That's how you fix it, folks. Second question. What's your favorite game over screen?
My favorite game, what?
Game over screen. So.
Oh, game over screen. Damn, that's funny. Oh shit, that's a really good question.
Yeah. Not even favorite.
It's gotta be like back from the cartridge game days of gaming.
Mm-hmm. Resident Evil, You Are Dead. Right, the big bloody screen.
I've always used to get really pissed off at that, but just like the Devil May Cry, that abandon all hope and
abandon all hope. Bayonetta, the shadow remains cast.
Annoying. But no, my favorite end screen probably has to be the original Ninja Gaiden.
This is why you're my friend.
Yeah.
I want to do the Black Power fist right there with you. That wasn't what I was thinking, but it kind of hit that part of my neck where I was just like, yeah, that's some good shit.
Yeah.
That's some good shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What it came to mind? A couple of them came to mind. Of course, the classic Friday the 13th on Nintendo, All Your Friends Are Dead, Game Over.
Yeah.
One that's super cool that I love is Chrono Trigger. The future refused to change.
That's hilarious.
It's the best.
You know what's so funny? I just downloaded that ROM, actually. Playing it again.
Oh, it's top 3 RPGs of all time.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger.
When after you beat Lavos and it explains all the time events of all your decisions. Yeah,
it's so good.
By the way,
good.
Now that you bring that up, I have to ask: Did you actually save Magus or did you kill him?
I killed him when I was a kid, and I saved him to be in the party. I saved him to be in a party when I replayed it years later.
Because he's an awesome character.
He's an awesome character. Yeah. I love Chrono Trigger. Love it so much. Ocarina of Time is my favorite. And then it's Final Fantasy 3. That was a big one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But Chrono Trigger, the soundtrack, Frog, freaking so damn good. And another one was the Punisher game, where Punisher and Nick Fury are tied up, and there's a stick of dynamite, and the dynamite's shrinking as the continue counts down. And if you don't do it in time, it just blows up. That's one of my favorite game over screens. Or is that Final Fight? I think it's Punisher.
Which
the shoot 'em up Punisher, the arcade version.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a good one. There's so many good ones. Yeah. Just the perfect game. The game over screen on Spider-Man on Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Where he punches the cop and jumps away.
Yeah.
It's so dirty. I love that shit. Oh, man. I can think about that all night. Final question. Now, I kind of want to switch this question out because I think I've asked it before. Fuck. We're doing it live. What's your favorite depiction of hell in a video game?
I'd say Dante's Inferno.
I was going to say the same thing.
I think it's well thought out. I think the other, if not that, I would say Picture of Hell in Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say God of War 2.
Actually, okay, don't judge me, but I've only played God of War, the first one, and And I didn't complete it.
I'm not mad at you because I never played Uncharted 1. I played 2, 3, and 4, and I haven't played the new one. So, yeah, God of War 2, one of my favorite depictions. This new game, Hellblade, that came out, the one where a psychologist helped create the game to create the effect of true schizophrenia or something like that.
Yeah.
I played that. Oh, that messed me up. I can't. You play with your headset on, and then like you start hearing voices whisper to you and shit.
Agony is also a game that depicts hell pretty well.
Yeah,
just from the standpoint of just really getting you feel like it's you know what I'm talking about, Agony. Right? Yeah. Just the whole atmosphere.
It's very atmospheric.
Yeah.
And not a lot of games take you to hell as often anymore.
Yeah.
There's always interpretations of it. Even Cuphead takes you to hell.
Yeah, Cuphead is awesome.
Cuphead's fucking... Pick up Cuphead if you can. Yeah. The game is freaking dope, dude. Oh, man. Let's wrap this show up, shall we? Good content. Good business. Good business. As always, what are you looking forward to this upcoming week?
Well, this upcoming week, not much. Because, I mean, like, there's not really much to go around. I already finished The Punisher.
That was a good series.
Awesome.
That was some good soup.
Even though Frank apparently has some sort of, like, nanomachines in his blood or something.
Nanomachines.
So, like, nanomachines, son.
I want him just to go muff.
Because like the amount of abuse he takes. I mean,
that's the only real superhero shit that happens. Is his freaking hero his healing factor is nuts.
It's insane. This man,
he's a machine.
I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to do it because you can stream it. But you can stream all the episodes. But yeah, basically, like he has a collapsed lung. He loses most of his blood.
He loses gallons of blood.
And then, like, he's just up and at him in the next couple
fighting as hard as he possibly can. Doing unhuman stuff.
And this stuff would take people years to recover over.
Right. Years. With rehab and problems and pills and talking to someone to work it out. This guy, you patch him up, an episode passes, he has no scarring. There's sometimes where it will kind of bleed over, no pun intended, but it's silly. It's the silliest thing about the show. Everything else is great, top notch. Just his Wolverine healing factor is weird.
It's OP.
It's very OP.
It's OP for a guy that doesn't have any for a guy whose superpower literally is a machine gun. He gets up and recovers better than most of the strongest superheroes in the Marvel universe I've ever seen.
Ever.
So I mean, like,
he has a better healing factor than the Hulk. I'll tell you that. Damn, Frank.
Yeah.
It's nigh unstoppable. Oh man. Castiglione, bro. Oh man, I guess for my week, just gonna play some more Assassins and just keep being beaten down by microtransactions. And when you buy something, that's worse because then they know you'll buy something and push it even harder. And then you start getting emails about that shit. Don't get me started. I want to finish Mindhunter. I started watching that on Netflix. A really good show. Thank you for talking me off the ledge for picking up for getting back into Final Fantasy 14. So I'm not gonna be doing that this week. And I'm just going to be trying to feel better, man. I'm trying to get back 100% and just lay up and finish Runaways, maybe. Power through that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe finish My Hero Academia finally because the new season's coming up. And that's about it. Man. Yeah. Any closing thoughts, Darren, before we call it a Nizite?
Just for everyone who's still a little on the fence about the whole microtransaction thing, which I'm sure you aren't. Just don't give in ever. Don't give them any kind of fuel whatsoever because what this does is it makes it harder for people like us who have, who have more dollar sense.
Right.
It just just don't give into it. It makes him enticing to buy that package to get all of the, weapons and all the perks, but it really makes a lot of things very anti-competitive and it makes things very expensive. In the long run.
Here's what I would say to that. And my opinion is I wouldn't say don't buy a DLC, because there's a difference between DLC and microtransactions.
Yeah. Okay, let me rephrase that. Don't buy shortcuts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the specificness I needed from you.
Yeah. Don't buy shortcuts.
Don't buy shortcuts. Don't buy shortcuts in a competitive game.
Yeah.
If it's a single player game, you want to cheat and do whatever the hell you want. Game Genie it up. Get 100 mans and 4,000 input. 4,000 hit points or whatever you want. But if you're playing competitively with people who want to play the game and get good, don't be that guy who buys all the best armor. You don't know how to play the game.
Yeah, don't pay the boba.
Don't pay the
boba, man.
Don't pay the boba, man. It makes you lame. Earn your shit. Because honestly, I'm a nice guy online. I don't try to dog or I don't try to troll anyone online. Yeah. But those guys will sniff you out. Like, there's a funny thing in Final Fantasy 14, and I'll close on this, is that if you played the game for less than a certain hour amount, you have a green leaf over your head. That means you're a green leaf. You're brand new. You're a greenhorn. You're garbage. But if you have all leveled armor and you have all the shiny shit on and you're a green leaf, everyone knows you bought your shit. And no one will want to play with you because you don't know the mechanics. You don't know how to manage. You bought a Mercedes and you bought a Maserati and you just passed the written test. Yeah. You don't know how to drive the car. Right. So you're going to crash that shit every single time and piss everybody off. Play the game legit. Don't give in. Listen to Darren, please. Don't give in to microtransactions. It makes you lame. And it spends all your money. Because it's not worth it. Because if you don't know how to play the game, you don't know the mechanics, then you're not going to have a good time. Because you're going to feel like, because when you get bodied or blown up, you're going to be wondering, this is not the experience I paid for. And you're going to be salty. And you're just going to be cultivating bad business behavior. Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
Don't do it. Play the game. If you want to pick up that stuff later after you're a god in it, fine. By then, they don't care about the money anymore. You know, right?
Exactly.
Play the game, learn the game, be competitive, find people to squad up with, play with friends. If you don't have any friends, I get it. I'm the same way. But join Discords. Try to join guilds or groups or clubs or meet people that will teach you how to play the game. Because there's people out there, for every 5 trolls out of 5, there's a guy who's like, let me sit you down and teach you how to play this game.
Yeah.
And I recommend searching those people out on Reddit, on Reddit threads, online, and just take the time to learn the game. Don't be that guy, okay? I didn't mean to go off on a tirade about that, but I feel a certain way about it. No. So I played a lot of MMORPGs, and I've seen these people in the wild, where it's like, you don't know what you're doing. You're playing tank, and you're pulling all this aggro, and then you get pissed at the healer because you're pulling too much aggro. You don't know how the system works.
Exactly.
And you're self-entitled because you spent $500 on your character, and it's our fault. Oh my goodness, it's so frustrating. Especially in team-based games. If you want to go and do that on Street Fighter and you want to keep losing and rage quit and get a bad reputation online, have at it. Have your fun. But don't join a team demographic and expect to be godlike, but just because you put money into it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do crack, okay? Don't do video game equivalent to crack. Makes you skinny and lame.
Digital crack is whack.
Digital crack is whack. Put it away. Best to play. We don't play games. We get gains. I'm just kidding. I just felt like saying that shit. Oh, man. That's it. That's a good show.
Indeed.
Where can we find you as always, my good sir?
Find me on Facebook at beerbusinessbureau.com. Oh, I'm sorry, Beer Business Bureau. You can go to beerbusinessbureau.com too.
Yeah.
But, Facebook, Beer Business Bureau. Twitter, at Beer B Bureau. And on YouTube at Beer Business Bureau.
Find them. Get some good beer, man. It's starting to get those holiday beers are starting to float around, man. Get you a nice little holiday situation.
Get you a nice little milk stout.
Get you with some cinnamon. Put on some freaking Christmas music. Just relax and have a beer, man. It's just, if you're of age, of course. If you're not of age, get you a ginger beer from, what is it, Bundaberg? Bomb ass ginger beer. Get you one of those, churrin, if you're not of age. But if you're of age, find this man's website. He will not steer you wrong. He's pointed me towards some really good beers that I've honestly purchased and enjoyed. So do that. It will make your life the richer. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram. And I never plug my website. Go to the Masters of the Nerdiversecast.com website. There's fun stuff on there. A lot of artwork from the shows is all kept there. You can ask questions there. Join our Patreon. I still don't know how that works, but if you join, I will give you stuff. I'll figure it out. I have to set that up. I have to find a person smarter than me to help me with that. But as always, I'm your host, Mike G, and I will always ask you to take that one step beyond.
Booyah.
Booyah.